Brandon Lee or Brendan or
Brandon Lee.
Brandon Lee?
Yeah.
Now now Brandon Lee of course is the son of
Bruce Lee.
Now this morning Katie told me something I was just blown away by. Could you tell us a little bit about Bruce and Brandon Lee, Katie?
Bruce Lee actually died of a reaction from a headache tablet that he had taken. And I was shocked when I found that out too.
How old was he?
33.
33 years old?
Yeah. He was born in 1940 in Hong Kong. Died,
wow.
I believe, out in California at the age of 33 in 1973.
Do you know if he was married or anything?
He was divorced from Brandon's mother, and he was at his girlfriend's house when he took that tablet and went to go lie down, and she couldn't wake him up. She called the ambulance. They couldn't revive him, and they pronounced him dead at the hospital.
Well, I wonder what kind of headache pill that was.
Yeah, I think Brandon Lee was 7 years old.
Oh, that's sad.
No, he was 10. He was born in 1963.
Oh, okay.
So he was 10, and then Brandon Lee died in 1994 on the set of The Crow when a prop revolver cartridge emptied into him. It was a default thing, and it hit 5 of his major organs, and he died at the hospital from internal bleeding.
Now, there's a mystery behind Brandon Lee's death.
Yep. I know that one too.
Can you tell us about that, Katie?
They had a house built.
Who's they?
Brandon Lee's dad and Brandon Lee's mother. They had a house built when they came over here, and it's a Chinese legend that you put a mirror on top of your house to ward away bad spirits because the house was built wrong. So they could either put a mirror on
like
the top
feng shui, probably.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they could either put a mirror on the top of the house, or they could tear down the house and have it completely rebuilt. They just put the mirror up. Day before Bruce Lee's death, the mirror fell down. Died the next day.
Wow.
Brandon Lee had it put up again. Day before he died, the mirror fell down.
Now, that...
Next day, he was dead.
That is creepy. Now, you read the book, The Crow. So there's some correlation between the story of The Crow and Brandon Lee.
James O'Barr, who wrote The Crow off as a comic strip. And it's a comic book. It's a graphic novel, that's what they call it. James O'Barr and his girlfriend were on the back roads. I think it was Detroit or something. They were on the back roads and their car broke down. And then they
Now this part's true?
Yep.
Okay.
They fixed it up. And then as they were driving away, drunk driver hit their car head on and killed his fiancée. That's how he got the idea for The Crow. It helped him get over her death. You know, and I say get over, but...
Now, could you tell us the story of The Crow? Some of us, I've seen the movie, but I haven't read the book. How does it start? Where is it set?
The Crow, the movie, and the book is set in Detroit. Eric Draven.
Yeah, hold on a second. Here, we will start again. Take 2.
Okay. The story starts out in the comic
book. Is the original book called The
Crow?
The graphic novel called The Crow?
It's called The Crow, and then there's a couple other ones with a different title to them, but they're all The Crow series. But the main one, the first one that James O'Barr wrote, was The Crow. And it starts out with Eric Draven and his fiancée Shelley Webster driving on the back roads.
Now, Eric Draven is who Brandon Lee played?
In the movie.
Okay.
The movie varies a lot from the comic book. But in the comic book, Eric and Shelley are driving down the back roads and their car breaks down. And a bunch of street thugs come up, they rape Shelley and they kill her, and Eric is shot in the head. And while he's at the hospital, as they're operating to save his life to get the bullet out of his head, Crow appears to him and says to give up his life, and then he can come back and avenge Shelley's murder. So he does so, and he comes back, and he finds the people who did that to him and his fiancée, and he stalks them, and then he kills them one by one.
Oh, okay.
Revenge. And then the only way he can get back to the other side is after he's killed all of them.
Back to the good side?
Yeah, and he can finally move on. He's like a ghost.
Oh, okay. Oh, he's a ghost.
Kind of, but he comes back in his body, though, too. Like,
does Shelley see him? And
no, Shelley has moved on.
Oh.
And in the movie, it starts out, Shelley made a complaint to the landlord about safety issues in the apartment. And the landlord is this big drug lord throughout the city of Detroit. So he comes in with his thugs, and they rape and they kill her. And they kill Brandon Lee as well. They throw him out of a 6-story window.
Oh, okay.
He comes back a year later on Halloween. It was the night before their wedding that they were killed. He comes back a year later to avenge her death and his. And, like in the comic book, he hunts them down one by one. But after he kills all the thugs, he can't figure out why he can't move on. That's because he hasn't killed the drug lord who ordered the clearing of the apartment.
Oh.
It's a good movie. I love it.
Now, another question I have that I was kind of confused about. At what point of the shooting of the show The Crow was, because they released the movie after his death. The very final scene?
One of the final scenes where he comes into the apartment. They shoot movies a lot out of order, the scenes. So the scene he was doing was where he walks into the apartment and he finds them beating up on Shelley. And the actor, whose name is Michael Massey, he plays Fun Boy in the film, one of the thugs. He had a prop pistol, and I guess there was a bullet lodged in there somewhere that they didn't notice, and they put the cartridge in there. So when he shot it out, the bullet came out with the cartridge, and it hit Brandon Lee. 5 major organs.
And how old was Brandon, did you say?
Born in...
Well, 63. I was born in 69.
Movie came out in 94, but it was shot in 93, so he was about 30.
Gosh, that's unfortunate. Well, Katie, thank you for sharing the story of The Crow. I'm going to do a little more investigating myself when the Bruce Lee, because it sounds like there was some kind of curse there somewhere, doesn't it?
That's what people believe. Have a rockin' fun weekend.